Welcome. Today, I want to talk about something that affects every one of us, yet is often deeply misunderstood. Our feelings. As a therapist, I regularly hear people say things like, I wish I didn't feel this way, I need to stop feeling anxious, I don't know why I'm so emotional, or I should be over this by now. Many of us have been taught, either directly or indirectly, that feelings are a problem. That sadness is weakness, that fear is failure, that anger is bad, that vulnerability is dangerous. But what if our feelings are not the problem? What if our feelings are actually trying to help us? One of the key ideas in my therapeutic model, the Filial Psyche, is that the inner child feels and the inner critic believes. The inner child carries our emotional experience. The inner critic carries the beliefs and judgments we have developed about ourselves and the world. The problem is that many of us have learned to listen to the inner critic far more than we listen to our feelings. The result is that we end up fighting emotions that we were never meant to be fought. To understand this better, we first need to understand the purpose of feelings. Most people think emotions exist simply to make us feel something. I don't believe that is their primary purpose. I believe feelings are part of our mind's natural processing system. Their job is to help us move through experiences that are emotionally significant, unexpected, or difficult to understand. Imagine that something happens which challenges your view of yourself, another person, or the world around you. Perhaps someone rejects you, perhaps a relationship ends, perhaps you lose your job, perhaps somebody criticizes you, perhaps somebody you trusted lets you down. In these moments, our emotional system becomes activated, not because something has gone wrong, but because something important has happened that requires our attention and processing. Your mind is attempting to make sense of the experience. Your emotions are helping you do that. Sadness helps us process loss. Fear helps us process uncertainty. Anger helps us recognize our needs, values, and boundaries that have been violated. Shame often points towards fears about acceptance, belonging, and connection. The purpose of these emotions is not simply to make us feel uncomfortable. Their deeper purpose is to help us move through an emotional experience so that it can be understood, integrated, and resolved. When this process works well, the mind updates its understanding of what's happened. We learn, we adapt, we heal. The unconscious mind in particular reorganizes its understanding of reality. The experience becomes part of our story rather than something that continues to control our story. In many ways, emotions help the psyche reset itself. They help us make sense of life when life does not make sense. The problem is that many of us interrupt this process. Let's look at the difference between having a feeling and experiencing a feeling. Having a feeling happens automatically. You don't choose to feel hurt when someone rejects you. You don't choose to feel sad when you lose someone you love. You don't choose to feel frightened when life becomes uncertain. The feeling simply appears. Experiencing a feeling is something different. Experiencing a feeling means allowing yourself to notice it, to stay with it, and feel it in your body without immediately trying to stop it, avoid it, or explain it away. Unfortunately, many people never get this far. As soon as the feeling appears, the inner critic steps in. It says, don't be ridiculous, get over it, stop being weak, you shouldn't feel this way. Other people have it worse than you. Instead of processing the feeling, we judge it. Instead of listening to it, we silence it. Instead of allowing it, we resist it. The irony is that the more we resist our feelings, the more persistent they often become. They don't disappear, they simply find another way to express themselves. They emerge as anxiety, overthinking, people-pleasing, perfectionism, depression, emotional numbness, addictions, or relentless busyness. Many of the coping strategies we rely upon are not really solutions. They are attempts to avoid emotional processing. The feeling remains unfinished, the experience remains unresolved, the emotional system remains activated. This brings us to the next stage, expressing our feelings. Once a feeling has been experienced, it often needs expression. Expression is how we communicate our internal reality. This might involve crying, talking it through, writing about it, creating, setting boundaries, or simply saying, I feel hurt, I feel scared, I feel lonely, or I feel angry. Healthy emotional expression allows the feeling to continue its natural journey through us. However, there's one final piece that I believe is often overlooked, sharing our feelings. Human beings are relational creatures. We are not designed to process everything alone. Some emotional experiences can only be fully healed within a relationship. Think about the difference between crying alone in a room and crying in the presence of somebody who truly understands and cares. The feeling itself may be the same, but the experience is entirely different. Why? Because we are being witnessed. Being witnessed means somebody sees our emotional reality and accepts it. Not somebody who tries to fix us, not somebody who immediately offers advice, not somebody who tells us what we should or shouldn't do, simply somebody who sees us, understands us, and stays present with us. Somebody who says, that makes sense. I understand how you feel that way. I'm here for you. This is where empathy becomes so important. Empathy tells us that our emotional experience matters. Compassion tells us that we deserve kindness while we're struggling. For many people, this may be the first experience of emotional safety they have ever known. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. The compassionate voice of the therapist gradually becomes the compassionate voice inside the client. In the Filial Psyche model, this is the development of an inner nurturing parent. The inner child continues to feel, but now those feelings are met with understanding rather than criticism, curiosity rather than judgment, and compassion rather than shame. The person begins to say, it makes sense that I feel this way. I can stay with this feeling. I don't need to run away from it. I can support myself through this. That is emotional maturity, not the absence of feelings, but the ability to experience them safely, express them honestly, share them appropriately, and respond to them with compassion. So if there's one message I would like you to take away from today's video, it is this. Your feelings are not your enemy. They are not signs of weakness. They are not evidence that something is wrong with you. They are part of a remarkable psychological system designed to help you process life, adapt to change, and make sense of your experiences. The question is not whether you have feelings. The question is whether you have learned how to listen to them. Because when feelings are allowed to be experienced, expressed, shared, and witnessed with empathy, they often complete the very task they were designed to do. They help us heal. If you'd like help understanding and expressing your feelings, visit my website, book a free discovery call. Let's see what's possible.